Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I wanted to answer a question, I suppose. So I was asked to talk about traveling as a minimalist. I decided today to kind of talk about what that means to me. So I'm going to start with the obvious, what I bring with me, how to pack as a minimalist. So that's where I'm going to start, but then I'm going to talk about two other things when I think of like the concept and the mindset of minimalism as applied to travel. So let's get into that. So I learned a very long time ago that I didn't need to pack a separate outfit for each day that I was going to be away. Regardless of where I'm going and what I'm doing, I can fit all of my things that I'm bringing with me in either my carry-on suitcase or my pack, both of which I just talked about in a recent video that I will put up here and down below. I've found that I can get away with most trips by bringing 2 pairs of pants or 2 bottoms and 5 shirts. And I find that that's enough for wherever I'm going because I can wear each thing multiple times. Obviously, if you're going to be visiting different climates while you're away, like you're going to go to a tropical place and you're going to go to a very cold, mountainous place, you're going to need to bring a couple different things that those, your shorts and bikini aren't going to carry over into the mountains. I mean, they might, but you have to take that in consideration, but even then, you can fit it all into one bag. And as for shoes, I usually keep it to 2 options. I'll bring my sneakers, and then I'll bring either like sandals or my Vans or kind of my little black riding boots. 2 pairs of shoes is more than enough. I'll normally wear my sneakers on the plane because those are bulkier, or I'll wear the more bulkier of whatever shoes I'm bringing to save the space in my bag. I also gave up the need to feel like I had to pack my whole bathroom. Leave your hair dryer, your curling iron, your straightener at home. A lot of places have hair dryers, first off, and I find that just I don't do my hair when I travel. Bring very minimal makeup, blush, concealer, stuff for my eyebrows, and mascara and chapstick, and that's my makeup. Bring a few hair ties and bobby pins and some like simple skincare products. I found that switching from using tampons to using a cup saves me all sorts of room and hassle and worry, because I used to pack, depending on where I was going, where I was at my cycle, I would pack the tampons I needed while I was away, and that's a lot of tampons, and I could have saved so much hassle and room by just bringing one single cup that's like this big. One thing that I do like to pack that takes up room is snacks or food. I can find something to eat almost anywhere, but that doesn't mean it's going to be like cost effective, healthy, knowing that I'm gonna have something to eat, because even if you do get to request a vegetarian or vegan meal on the plane, that doesn't mean it's gonna be something you wanna actually eat or it's gonna fill you. But the great thing about snacks is once you eat them, you have that space in your bag or your luggage or whatever it is. And I usually just try to pack snacks for the plane, and then once I get to wherever I'm going, then we either go grocery shopping or eat out or whatever it is. So I think that's kind of the main thing that people talk about. When we think of minimalism, we think of like physical objects. I discovered through my journey, it sounds so hippy-dippy, but I discovered that like minimalism carries into all aspects of my life, not just the physical things I own, the people I hang out with, what I spend my time doing, and kind of like what I surround myself with. And so going along with that, one thing that I consider when thinking of traveling as a minimalist is where you go. And by this I mean like there is a pressure when you travel, and especially travel abroad, to cram in as many places as possible in that 2-week or month-long span of time that you have. And this is exhausting. And we've kind of gotten to the point where we've gotten over that need to like cram in as many countries and locations as possible. And we choose one country and we choose like a region, and that's where we do our travel. And by being able to spend a few days in each town or each place, you're able to experience and learn so much more than just being like, okay, this night we're going to spend in this place, the next night we're going to spend in this place, and just dotting around. Like, yes, you get to see more that way, but you don't get to experience as much. And that leads me to my last point when it comes to minimalistic travel, is what you spend your time doing. For me, this goes along with that pressure of feeling like you have to do as much as possible, pressure on you to go from one attraction to the next attraction and just jam pack your day that way. That is exhausting to me. Some people love that. Some people love doing all of like the sightseeing, touristy things, and that's their happy place, and that's great, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, that is exhausting, and that is not what I want out of a trip. Personally, I like to pick a few things to do that day and then spend the rest of the time just kind of being where I am. Have that mindset of like, this doesn't have to be exhausting race to see everything in this town. Like, I can just wander around and just look at things, and it doesn't have to be, you know, the top tourist attractions. So for me, this means going to like a cafe or a coffee shop and working, you know, wandering around to different shops and thrift stores, or just walking the streets. Also going grocery shopping and cooking at the place we're staying if that's an option, but also, you know, going out and eating too is lots of fun. I prefer physical activities over tourist attractions when I travel. Things that I can do that I can't do at home. Things in the ocean like surfing, snorkeling, swimming. Things in the mountains like hiking, snowboarding, instead of visiting the must-sees. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy the occasional museum, you know, temple, or overlook. But for me, there has to be a balance between the two. So 2 examples of this. I've been to San Francisco a couple times. There was one time we did one of those hop on, hop off red bus city tours, and I did it with Michael's parents while he was working, and that was so much fun. It was so nice to sit down and have someone tell you about the city you're in. And then another example was when we were in Avignon in France. We did a self-guided tour with a tablet at the Palace des Papas, and that was fascinating as well. I think the thing that I've discovered is, while, you know, like the Colosseum, for example, in Rome, it's, you know, going and looking at it is beautiful. The Eiffel Tower in Paris, going there and looking at it is beautiful, but I find that like just looking at something doesn't always like satisfy that curiosity I have. And I need to have the story behind it, the history behind it. And while I'm not like a tour person at all, I will do like a self-guided tour. I'll like download one of those on my phone and walk around a town and like see things that way. And when you get to a place, you can just look on your phone and like read the history. It makes it so much more worthwhile to me, and it like gives me a richer experience than just being like, oh, that is a pretty building or like structure, whatever it is. Like, I like having the history behind it. A random thing that I've gotten out of the habit of while traveling like a long time ago was this need to feel like I have to bring souvenirs home for people. It's the weirdest thing. I think of, you know, my time in Thailand. I brought home so much junk to give to every single person I knew, and I never gave it to them. Nowadays, if I see something and I'm like, oh my God, you know, so-and-so, I'll buy that for them. While we were in Bali, Michael wanted to stop at this shop to look for a t-shirt. And while we were there, I saw the most adorable little like baby pants, your typical Asia, kind of like thin fabric flowy pants. They're like those, but they're baby size. And my sister had like just told me a month before that she was pregnant, and so I got her a pair of like little baby pants. In the end, travel can mean a million different things to a million different people, and it does, and there's no right or wrong way to travel. Travel in a way that makes you happy, makes you feel fulfilled and satisfied with that experience. But if you feel like you're going places and you're not getting what you want out of that, maybe reconsider how you're structuring your travel and how you're planning your days, what you feel pressure to do versus what you want to do, and maybe kind of like readjust how you're traveling. But for me, this is kind of what I see of as like traveling as a minimalist. Obviously what you pack and bring with you and bring home with you, but also this pressure to like do so many things within like traveling to different places, but then doing so many things in each place. I just find that exhausting. I will stop blabbing. That is what I think. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to FemmeHead, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.